Time for some Shock Force 2 again with a mission that I really enjoyed. This is the ambush in Al Fubar scenario, which sees US scouts desperately trying to hold on from an ambush, while a Stryker platoon rushes to the rescue. According to the briefing, 1st Battalion, 225th SBCT has been tasked with securing the city, but have just received word that a separate scout patrol has just been ambushed, and all 4 of their Stryker vehicles have either been destroyed or disabled. 3 scout teams are holding firm in buildings at the ambush site, but will soon be overrun by the local resistance. A company, 1st Platoon, has been dispatched to the ambush site in all haste to rescue the scouts, but will only arrive in 10 minutes. Our objectives then are to ensure the scouts survive so that there is something to rescue. Secondly, once 1st Platoon arrives, they will have to fight their way into the city and secure the ambush site. It's 20th of July at 1100 hours, and the 3 scout teams are in a bad way. This is the initial situation, with the ambush site on the left and various roads running parallel to the river. On the opposite side of the river is the area where 1st Platoon will be arriving from. We can see a heavily built up area surrounding the scouts, with a mosque to the south and a hotel further down the street to the north. I think the general strategy will be to stay put. We know resistance fighters are closing in, and we don't want to get caught out crossing streets and ambushed again. If anything, we want to be the ones doing the ambushing. So for now, we will just see if we can hold out for the next 10 minutes. As the game commences there, we're just going to keep all 3 scout teams positioned inside the buildings they start out at. Not long before we get some spots of resistance fighters in the distance, crossing between buildings. And the only operational Stryker, although immobilized, gets a few grenades off. That Stryker also deploys a smoke screen. Immediately a lot of incoming fire on the south side. Nine minutes to 1st Platoon's arrival, and everybody's just trying to hang on. Taking fire from across the street, and there's also a few grenades being lobbed around. It's also our first casualty on first floor there. Scouts are doing what they can with their limited firepower. They've spotted a sniper to the south there, managing to keep his head down. Even our last Stryker has picked up some contacts to the north and is putting some grenades into it. But then instantly rewarded with return fire. And our second casualty here is the gunner, which takes a bullet. At the 7-minute mark, everything goes quiet suddenly. Just a small reprieve for the scouts. Six minutes, a resistance fighter group tries to make an entry in the smoke into one of the buildings, but the scouts deal with them quite quickly. That's why staying put is better at this point. 5 minutes to go. And the resistance groups make another go from the north. There you can see them charging in. The Stryker gets some grenades out. There's more and more coming from the north. Out to the right there, there's quite a few more contacts. And they're literally right on top of us. It's definitely close quarter battles at this point. My only concern now is that our small force doesn't get overwhelmed with resistance numbers. The 4-minute mark, and the resistance keeps sending pixel troopers from the north, charging down. You can see there also on the riverside, picking up a few more spots, getting themselves established in the buildings across the road there, starting to put down flanking fire. A determined thrust from the north. Fortunately, Scout HQ is assaulted in the building there, and we have a casualty. Resistance fighters starting to put down flanking fire in the distance. Three minutes, and seems to have gone quiet again. We do spot a resistance MG team setting up to the south across the road. Few minutes out for first platoon, deathly quiet. One lone fighter tries to crawl out of the Polytechnic to the south and is taken care of. One minute, and it seems like local resistance has all but given up. There's still a spot here and there, and we still have stragglers crawling out of the Polytechnic. With the arrival of first platoon on the right there, I thought it could just point out major phase lines that we'll be using to describe the action. You can see there phase line 1, phase line 2, two roads parallel to first platoon's position, and then of course the access road running straight up perpendicular where the scouts are located. So with the arrival of first platoon, of course we get a whole lot of new Strykers across the river there. Just going to do an essential charge. Get over quickly. Whole lot of firepower being brought to bear on the resistance, of course from behind their positions. And we'll stop first platoon just short of the edge of the city. And we'll use this position to unload the infantry. Strikers parked left to right, and all the pixels have been jumping out. All three squads heading left and right of the access road. There is some return fire from the city itself. So first things first is just to get to the outer perimeter there. Lots of high walls, which we'll use as our staging point. Some MG fire back from the city. While all of this is going on, the scouts managed to spot a technical with an SPG-9 near the hotel to the north. But we lose that spot rather quickly again. So as we get established on the north side of the city there, we spread the various squads out, and then we're just going to start moving in to the urban environment. This is 3rd Squad. They hit the first building there, take a single casualty just from a resistance fighter parked in the alley there. On the south side of the access road, one of the Strykers pulls up to the city edge there, manages to spot an RPG team. First and second squad of 1st platoon lined up against the high wall there. That same RPG team causes a casualty. Third squad still hanging in that first building, and then they take an RPG from across the way. While second squad is moving up the middle of the access road, and they get to the entry gate of Polytechnic. Here they spot a sniper on the second floor of the Polytechnic building and start putting some fire on it. First platoon HQ and machine gun teams on the other side of the access road are moving in to the buildings there.
Okay, Sergeant.
Some of the Strykers are aggressively charging up the access road towards the scout ambush site. And on the north side, 3rd squad is slowly moving up. And they keep running into resistance. It seems to be doing okay. A lot of our attention is focused on the middle here as we're just trying to get to that ambush site. Stryker on the right hand side of the access road, putting grenades into the Polytechnic. So now it's time for first and second squad to move up the middle. Very dense buildings. This is HQ leading the way. Coming under heavy fire. And shortly after, HQ gets some support from second squad. It comes under more fire from the opposite building. Being on anything but the ground floor is a bad idea. Some resistance fighters in the distance flanking first squad. So, a bit of a top view here. You can see how first platoon is moving up the middle. HQ leading the way there. Getting into that small building, followed by first squad coming in support. The major fight here is with the resistance HQ element in that tall building to the top of the screen. But to the right there you can see the flanking element from the resistance side. And then the sniper from the Polytechnic building. So a bit caught in the middle there. Putting the sniper in the Polytechnic building under heavy fire. So we've crossed phase line 1 and we're trying to make our way to phase line 2. Third squad crossing phase line 1 there. Picking up on the resistance fighters there just across the way. They managed to run into a whole lot of them, but ambush all of them. Even further down the alley there, they spot 2 fighters and manage to eliminate one. The battle in the middle there to the right of the access road heats up as we spot more contacts just a little bit further on. Now it's time to call in the mortar support we have available off map. I'm targeting the south of the map because I don't intend to go there, and if there's any surprises there, it'd be good if the mortars could deal with it.
Requesting fire mission. Over.
Back to the scouts who have not been idle. They still are managing to deal with 1 or 2 resistance fighters that pop their heads out. Sniper team from first platoon, still putting fire into the Polytechnic across the way there.
Roger, fire mission request. Out.
We also managed to spot that elusive technical for a few seconds. First platoon is now positioned just south of phase line 2. The moment we cross that, we should be at the scouts.
Contact. Enemy vehicle. Enemy vehicle sighted.
Fire. Over.
Again, that technical goes itself, but this time one of the squads from the scouts manages to deal with it using just M2 or 3 grenades.
Shot. Over. Shot. Out. Flash. Out. Shot. Out.
Near the center of the map, first platoon, one of the squads just reached phase line 2. main road.
Flash, over.
Just picking up some contacts opposite and engaging.
Shot, over.
Additionally, we managed to pick up another technical on the south side of the map. That's the area we're about to hit with those mortars.
On the double, boys. Let's go.
This is 1st Platoon's sniper team getting on the roof there in the middle just to get some
Fire
overwatch.
for effect, out.
They pick up a target just across the way and start engaging. Third squad keeps moving forward. The fight at the Polytechnic entryway is still not over. We're still picking up contacts now on ground floor. And then artillery barrage arrives, peppering the south of the map with 81mm. In the meantime, 1st Platoon's sniper team on the roof there is doing what they can against overwhelming odds.
Position, out.
Third squad is repositioning to a building that'll give them a better view up and down the street. They do pick up some contacts across phase line 2. This guy's buddy-aiding his buddy there and gets it in the face. More grenades going into the Polytechnic. There's nothing left of that gate now. We're now minutes away from the ambush site. And in very good positions all around. The sniper team are still doing what they can. You can see on the left there the machine gun team have moved into the second floor of that building on the left. And so now we outflank that position in the middle. Machine gun team on the left, directly across that high wall. So the game called it when our HQ team there reached the ambush site. Total US victory with only 3 pixel trippin killed and 6 wounded. We managed to inflict 49 casualties on the resistance, and our scout teams managed to hold their own long enough for 1st Platoon to arrive. Quickly having a look at the after-action map there, we can see several resistance fighters still present in the periphery of the ambush site, including an unexploded IED just in front of one of the Strykers. Really fun cinematic mission, highly recommended.